All right, this one we have not watched a Grumpy Eye video in a while. I think he was having some PC issues, so I think he finally got them resolved. And it's titled, Star Citizen is making a huge mistake. This is Grumpy Rehab Facility number 80. Let's see. Huge mistake.
Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about... What? I just started the... We got to go to the news. There's breaking news. All right, roll it.
Breaking news, hosted by Grumpy Eye.
We are very sorry to interrupt the regular
He's got his group of papers
program, but we have some breaking news about Star Citizen's new patch update. We're going to be talking to
Actual
our longtime correspondent, Ben Dover, that is at the scene right now. Ben, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So what is the state of 318?
Shit's fucked.
Oh, is that bad? Thank you so much, and now back to the regular program.
Oh, okay. When was this video posted? Not long ago. Okay, so it's... I was just curious. He's talking about 318.
Roll the intro.
Hello, my name is Grumpy.
Alright, so before we start off talking about the main topic of this video, I just wanted to say this. I was not live for a while. I did not post any videos for a while, and there's a reason for it. My PC died, and thank you to all the patrons, and thank you to all the people that donated some money to help me out. I'm still like knee-deep in depth because of the PC, so all the donations are gonna like go into that because, yeah. Also, I gotta think of something to get some food into my stomach. But, I mean, I am fat, so I might as well just, like, lose some weight. Yeah. But, yeah, that's why I wasn't there. Also, I know that a bunch of people were saying, oh, well, where's Grumpy now that everything is broken? I mean, do I need to open your eyes and tell you that everything is broken? Because, as I've said at the start, shit's fucked. And, yeah, there's, like, no way around it. It is what it is. It's probably gonna get worse before it gets better. Much worse. But, yeah, we'll see.
I don't think there is a worse than the launch of 318. There can't be, right? Nobody could even log in. But I guess worse from where we are right now? Maybe?
Anyway, the main topic of this video is going to be something that I actually touched upon during one of my live streams, and you can watch the video or the VOD of that here. It's just like a clip, a stream clip of like 20 minutes, I guess. And it's me reviewing a video of Josh... I forgot the name, sorry. But it is a really good video. Sorry that I forgot the name. I probably just have it on the screen. But yeah, the video itself talks about why full loot MMO games are not ever going to be successful. And Star Citizen wants to be just that. So I started thinking, and that's never good, and I realized that Star Citizen... Wow, that just like came out on its own. So as I was saying, Star Citizen is trying to be that, but I don't think that it should be that game. And I tell you why in a second, but before we do that, before I tell you, you need to understand what a full loot MMO is. So practically just get DayZ into an MMO kind of a game. So DayZ, I've been playing a lot of it in the past month, and I love the game. It's fucking amazing. But here's the thing with DayZ. You collect loot, and then like you spend 5 days collecting loot, maybe even building your own base, and you have even more loot there. Maybe you have a second base, even more loot there, blah blah blah. And then you get raided and all the loot is gone, and then you get killed, and everything on your person or like your whole character, all the armor, everything is gone because you got looted. And that's what full loot means. And if you're not scared already...
Okay. But how awesome was it when you were gathering the loot? It was sick. Because you didn't have it before. Because you had lost it previously. Right? I'm pretty sure him and I are going to agree on this. It's like Star Citizen being completely full loot and unable to retrieve things, right? Like full, like let's say your freelancer blows up, and when you get it back, it has no components on it. That would be full loot, right? I think Star Citizen's like a little bit different, and we'll see when FPS weapons and armor and things like that start to actually become valuable and be really purposeful in game and be inaccessible in some ways. How much of Star Citizen will remain a full loot game? I'm kind of curious.
Let me just show you a brief clip of me destroying 4 guys, me and my friend Scar Citizen, destroying a couple of guys that got a truck, got a ton of loot and all of that, and we're trying to set up a base, but no, we just like stumbled upon them and we killed them and they lost everything, and like they never played on the same server again. Did you see the movie? The series?
Yeah.
Well, that's the game. Oh my god. Oh my god,
no,
there's
the
like
timing.
fucking 4 guys. I dropped 1. Shit, they have like a vehicle that they're repairing. Holy shit, I did not expect this at all. Unpin, please. Thank you. Hayden. Well, that hurt me a bit.
Why?
You guys surrender?
Just leave me, please.
No, there's more of you.
Please, bro. Just leave me alone.
Here's the thing though, like if they didn't have the feeling of loss, you would have less of a feeling of gain. Like the fact that you destroyed them and you took their stuff and now their stuff is your stuff is part of what's awesome, right? So like the full loot aspects of a game, I think, are cool.
A zombie, you just went in.
Alright, you want to enter both sides at the same time?
There's zombie. Okay.
I don't know,
A
Big
zombie
Matt.
just went in there.
That's them firing. You okay?
Oh, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him, shoot him!
Nice. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. They hit me a couple of times, but I'm good.
Is that it?
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs and finish them
Dude, we
off.
got them all.
Oh my
Got them all.
god. They
Is it you
cleared.
upstairs? Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's me.
Holy shit. Well, we just fucking got a lot of loot here. And the truck.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Right?
So here's the thing. Those guys...
Like, that's the moment of like, oh my god, if they couldn't lose that stuff, you couldn't gain it. Right? So like full loot can be awesome, but then you got to remember what those guys are feeling too. It kind of sucks.
Guys probably spent the whole day or maybe even 2 days trying to get a vehicle, trying to get all the loot, and trying to set up a base. And they lost it like this. The whole engagement lasted for like 2 minutes. Sometimes, I mean, you will die in a second or 4 seconds and everything will be gone and done in like less than a minute. So why am I saying this? The reason is simple. You know what happens whenever there's like PvPing. You know about the G word, I mean the griefer words, and it's like thrown around like crazy in the Star Citizen community. And the reason is because, well, you can see that most of my viewers and most of all the viewers of all the content creators are like 30 to 45 years old. Now, I'm not saying that that is bad. I'm 35 years old myself, but the issue is, well, most of us, yes, we have steady jobs. Well, most of you guys that have steady jobs. I'm a YouTuber, so yeah, go figure. And a bunch of people have families. I don't currently have a family. I don't have kids, so I'm good. I can play DayZ. I can spend some time and play and build my base and do a lot of stuff and make videos for you guys. But at some point, I will have kids, and that changes a person a lot. And you just don't have enough time to invest into a game. So why people are getting pissed off right now is because they lost 2 hours setting up, going to Jumptown, and asking if Jumptown is friendly, and then seeing that the Jumptown is not friendly because it's not supposed to be friendly because it's a PvP event, which for some reason a lot of people tend to not understand, and then they stop playing Star Citizen or they just don't play it.
But what do they lose? Like, what do you lose by going to JT? A suit of armor, a multi-tool, an FPS weapon? I don't think the two are comparable. You didn't lose 2 days of gathering stuff. You lost 5 minutes of going to a shop.
For a while, or they just go into global chat and yeah, there's like a lot of F words, and I even got an N word, honestly. And I mean, whoever PvP'd in Star Citizen probably knows what people are capable of saying in a global chat about them. So yeah, that's gonna happen, and that's happening right now in Star Citizen, even though it's a broken mess, even though it's an alpha, even though nothing really matters.
Okay, let's go back to his age thing. Why are most of the people who play Star Citizen of the age 30 to 45? I think there's a lot of reasons. I think one of the reasons are that the game doesn't exist. I think that it's because it took 10 years and we started when we were 25, like myself. I think that they've appealed to this collector, fleet owner, concierge person, and that is the person who's really paying a lot of attention to Star Citizen right now, and the people who would care and who would play the game that Star Citizen is intended to be, the age is probably going to go down significantly over the next 2 to 5 years, let's say, right? Like, let's say Star Citizen starts doing something and starts implementing more and more and more. You're going to see more young people getting involved in a game because it appeals to them. What about Star Citizen would appeal to somebody who doesn't have kids? Nothing, because it's not a good game. Every other kid is going to play Fortnite or something else that they can log in and play. And also, to Grumpy's point, respects their time maybe a little bit more. But younger people play DayZ, right? And they play other games that are just as buggy or silly. Right. But the idea, I think, is that because Star Citizen isn't a game, it appeals to this audience that has no desire for Star Citizen to be a game or for them to play a game or care about the game actually being good. They only care about their fleet and flexing or whatever, collecting, whatever they do that isn't playing a video game. I am not advocating for completely full loot Star Citizen. Whatever Josh Strife Hayes said in his video, I have not seen that video yet. Maybe if I did, it was a really long time ago. He's right. A completely full loot PvP game turns a lot of people away, and it is not a good experience for nearly anybody. What you end up having, I saw it in the chat earlier. I'm sorry I can't call your name out because I can't remember who it was, but mentioned what ends up happening in those games is just huge guilds end up taking over and just rolling everybody, and it's just uninteresting and boring, right? Imagine full loot PvP game, test squadron, 10, 20,000 members, just roll every shard, and it's boring as hell, right? Atlas, all these games. Right? It's not a fun experience for anybody. So the idea of insurance in the game, the idea of you know, making some changes to where some things aren't worth doing, I guess, where looting isn't worth doing, or maybe, I don't know. I don't know what the solution would be when it comes to ships. I do think for the most part, full loot is sort of okay on our FPS gear for now, but if they start getting gear that is, you know, more like a railgun today that's super rare and hard to find, but more useful than one, that's when we come into some more issues, I think. That's just how I feel about this, and I really think that you need to be rewarded for your hard work. For example, Grumpy, they walked around, they looted guns, they were geared, they came across another geared group, they outsmarted them, and they killed them. They deserve the spoils, and the people who were outsmarted deserve a punishment. But how strict that punishment should be is a question that I still think Star Citizen needs time to cook before we can figure out the answer. Should Star Citizen be a full loot game? Probably not. But at the same time, if it isn't, what are your rewards for succeeding? Right? What are your rewards for succeeding in PvP? My answer has always been certain systems, certain places, certain locations should be less risky. So maybe like a pyro, yeah, full loot, bro. Risk away, but the rewards are insane. And that's what I want to see from Star Citizen, where Terra is, if I die, I get everything back, right? There's tons of security in the area. They found my stuff. The police returned it to me, whatever, right? The way we do insurance has to change completely in the future. And I think that that's what I would like to see from Star Citizen. It doesn't need to be a complete full loot game, but I think some locations, everybody should know what they're getting into. The Jumptown example that he gave. Nobody loses anything at Jumptown right now. In the future, with my argument, they should. You go to that area, you go and you take that risk, you're not getting anything back. And you shouldn't, right? But if you die at Terra, yeah, of course you should. So then the casual player, everybody who's just trying to experience the game, learn the game, and learn the ropes can, and without being punished so severely. And the ones who want to take the risk and gamble for that huge reward, like in the Grumpy clip, they can as well, right? So you can make a game that appeals to two different audiences quite simply, I think, with just, you know, the rules of areas like that. So, you know, like high sec, low sec, that kind of stuff. So that's what I would like to see. But let's see what Grumpy has to say. We're only halfway through the video, so.
You're just spending your time, and yeah, you're just wasting your time, basically, trying to do some things, and you go to Jumptown, and then you die. So why am I saying this? Well,
I mean, like, playing DayZ is pointless, right? Because it's just, like, cyclical. But it's about the time that you, all right, I looted up, we got these guys, we got that stuff, and then, hey, eventually I got too, and then you do it again. But Star Citizen isn't DayZ from that standpoint, I don't think.
For example, like the video that I just showed you with DayZ, we got all the loot, we got a truck, and we held it for like maybe a week. We got even more loot.
Awesome.
We had like a huge ass base, and then we got raided, and we lost everything, every single thing. And I didn't stop playing, but a bunch of people would. And that's what happens with full loot PvP games. And yeah, it's if it's an MMO, there's even
the people who take the risk and go to a place like Pyro, even the people who have their bases at Pyro and hold it or whatever, you know, whatever Pyro gameplay might end up looking like, somebody's going to get pissed off and quit the game because they lost everything. It's just going to happen.
More chance of you getting looted, of you getting raided. And if you didn't know, like I don't think most people know, Star Citizen wants to be just like that. Star Citizen wants to be a realistic simulation of a space game, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's the same with DayZ. DayZ is super realistic. It basically does...
we have insurance on our ships. I would be surprised if we were completely full loot in Star Citizen. I think Grumpy's going from like the FPS, what we have now. Again, I've kind of, you know, thought about it and thinking about it. I don't know if it'll change. I don't know if it will, but I don't think it's as punishing as DayZ. You know, you get your shit back.
Does not want you to play it. It will kill you. Like around the corner, you like get attacked by a bear, or you might get like food poisoning, or you might poison yourself trying to drink some water, etc., etc., etc. And you will constantly die until you understand how the mechanics work and how to play that game. With Star Citizen, it's going to be a bit different. You're going to have like simulators and all of that. That's the idea, at least. But in the end, we are going to have Death of a Spaceman, and if you do not know what Death of a Spaceman is, you should Google it. I'm going to tell you a bit about it. But on top of that, we have base building, and we sure will have base raiding. Now we're
and like, he's not making that up. They have brought up the idea of your base being raided. They have mentioned it more than once, and this is where if I do not want to see that to the extent that it is in DayZ. That's a concern of mine, because I think that's where people will invest a ton of time, lose all that time, and get and just get disappointed and quit. And I think it'll happen to too many people that it's not a healthy thing. But again, let's see what.
Not really that close to like base building, but Death of a Spaceman is like, it's just around the corner, basically. And what that is, it like they didn't still really figure it out, but it all like ties in with the medical gameplay and all of that. And the point is, you die 5-10 times, and your like character cannot regenerate anymore. Your DNA or whatever is broken, and you like your character.
He said 5-10 times. We don't know the number though, and we have no idea what that like. That is so far from anything that they're trying to figure out right now. 5 to 10 times can happen in a play session. I just don't believe that will be the case for the game. There's no way.
Is dead, like done, kaput, done, and then the only thing that you can do is have a next of kin. So that like next of kin is going to get most of the things that you had, but not all of it. So you are going
what do
to
you
lose?
We don't even know.
You are going to lose a bunch of loot. You are going to lose a bunch of like components and items, etc., etc. So why is that important? Because after a bunch of those deaths, you will be back at zero. Also, you will like lose money and all of that, which like it goes without saying, right? Also, with the addition of bases and base.
You know what's different about Star Citizen and DayZ and why you can't make the comparison? He said you'll be back at zero. What is back at zero for most people that have a Star Citizen account that are watching this video, right? If you're watching my video, or if you're watching Grumpy's video, how many of you have only a starter ship, right? Probably none. Zero is a very different number for everybody. And I think that's why Star Citizen is earning the funds that it earns, because nobody wants to start at zero, and Star Citizen gives them the ability not to. And that's where it's not DayZ, right? Is many of us, the start from zero is very far from zero.
Raiding, you will need to hop in every day so you can check on your base, so you can make even more defenses. But for defenses, you will need to loot more. So then, like, the whole process is there. You loot, you make defenses.
This sounds like a really good game.
You store the loot, you loot, you make defenses, blah blah blah. You're making your base bigger and bigger and bigger, hoping that nobody will raid it. But
this game sounds fun.
You will get
Sign me
raided
up.
because it's an MMO and because it's how the game is supposed to work. That's what like a full loot PvP MMO is. Now, some people would say, well, yeah, that's awesome. That's how it should be, right?
Yeah.
But no, actually, most players are casual gamers. And if you watch the video that I told you to watch at the start of this video, you would know why. And like the figures do not lie. Most people are just like casual players, and you are probably a casual player as well. So
EVE Online's not the highest grossing game in the world.
if you're 25 and above,
Albion
and
Online is not the highest
you don't
grossing
still
game.
have a family, just think about it. And I'm not saying don't play Star Citizen, don't invest into Star Citizen, but think about the future of Star Citizen and what it's supposed to be like. And do you really want to invest your time, your money, blah, 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 into a game that like 10 years down the line, once you have a family, or if you have a family.
Here's my favorite thing about this conversation is his vision of what Star Citizen will be is slightly different than mine, and is slightly different than yours, and is slightly different than this guy over there, and so on and so forth. You cannot think into the future and figure out what Star Citizen will be because nobody knows what it'll be. It's all in our head, right? And his version is different than my version.
Family right now, you're going to be even older, I guess. Yeah, like 10 years down the line, it's going to be a different game, and it's going to be a full loot PvP MMO.
No one knows it
like
really.
That?
And
Do
you work
like
there.
that idea? Do you really think
Right?
that
Like,
it's a good idea? I don't. I honestly don't. And I can tell you in all honesty that like right now, I want to play that game. But 10 years down the line, I'm not really sure that I will be playing a game like that.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm making this video is not...
Or at least not consistently. What's good about DayZ and why it works is it's the game loop is days, maybe a week. Star Citizen, the game loop is intended to be years. Years and years and years and years. How will it succeed if you're always starting from scratch, if you're always dying and always losing your components or whatever? How will it survive if death of a spaceman happens to you often? It can't, man. It just can't. So they're going to have to figure it out, and that's why making videos like the one that Grumpy is doing here are useful and are beneficial, whether you agree with him or not, is bringing it up as a conversation topic, bringing it up as something that gets you thinking about this and gets you talking about it, and maybe they start thinking about it and they start talking about it, and then they make certain decisions that are a little bit better for the game's future. And that's not to say that they haven't had these conversations. I imagine they absolutely have. They know what their player base is at this point, because my God, the conversations around insurance and all these other things is people are losing their mind, and it's like this is scratching the surface of some of the punishments that we're going to have in this game.
Not only to raise awareness, but also there's like a proverb here in Serbia. It goes "bolje sprečiti nego lečiti," which would roughly translated mean it's better not to get a disease than to cure it. So what I'm saying with that is, well, I know for a fact, and if you watch the video, you would know that most gamers are just like casual gamers, casual players, and that's why.
And the Star Citizen community is largely
are not
casual.
that successful, and that's why Star Citizen will not be successful, and the project might die. But I believe that Star Citizen will not die because the developers will realize that they are making a huge mistake. And I'm pretty sure that will happen after the community has a meltdown because of the
like they're
news.
having now.
Like once they break it to us, once they tell us, okay, this is coming now in the next patch, base rating, base building, death of a spaceman, you will lose all of that, then I'm pretty sure that the community will be really pissed off. And then CAG will need to make some changes, like most of the MMO developers did, and then the game might die because it will be like in a limbo of people not knowing what's happening, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to predict the future. I'm just saying it's better not to go down that route and do something better and do something else and something innovative or whatever than to go down the route which a bunch of games already tried and died trying to do that. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. And thank you to all my patrons for supporting my channel.
The statistics are out there, obviously, but you know, people, there's a big player base that plays a game like Albion Online still. Here's the other thing, is I think a lot of people look at Star Citizen like it's going to be this massive game that everybody plays. It might be, but most likely it's going to stay really niche and have a decent-sized community that buys into it. But I absolutely believe that as time goes on, the people who are currently interested in Star Citizen will realize that through all the YouTube videos from CIG that they watched, all the Playable Now trailers that hype them up for what Star Citizen will be in their head, will realize what Star Citizen actually is going to be quite different, and they're not going to play the game anyway. And I just believe that most people that got into Star Citizen today were duped in a way into getting into it, and will be disappointed on what it was always intended to be. And I don't think it was always intended to be DayZ, but it was intended to be a game that rewards you for your successes and punishes you for your failures. And it also rewards you for preparing and taking the time out to prepare and all those things. And all I hear is complaints about just clear, easy, simple game mechanics from this community. So I just have no time and no energy and no energy, I guess, for people who have no desire for Star Citizen to be enjoyable for anyone, except for people who just want to look at ships in their hangar and watch sunsets on planets. And that's just not what the game is going to be. And the community is going to change. The attitude is going to change over time. But it's going to take a while for us to get there. And that's it. That's where I'm at with that. But he's got quite a bit of the video left.
And thank you to all the channel members. Thank you to all the people that are donating during these videos through chat or through, I don't know, during my streams and all of that. Thank you so much, because this PC is super fucking expensive, and it will not be able, I will not be able to get it without your help. And if
awesome.
I'm still I didn't even pay for half of it. So if you want to support me, there's the Patreon link, there's the YouTube button. You can find everything
I'm glad
everywhere.
he's up
if you
and
want to
running
support
again.
me to pay out the whole PC, that would be great. I approve this message. And yeah, also merch. I forgot, I didn't do this in a while, so I forgot. Yeah, there's merch, and merch is amazing. And if you want to support me and get something in return, you will get, if you want to, you will get some high quality merch, which is also funny. So again, thank you for watching. And yeah,
I like
leave
the
a comment
one
down in the comments and tell me what do you think about all the things that I said. And thank you for watching. And I said that 5 times already. Jesus Christ, I'm completely, I forgot how to do this. But don't forget to bring the towel when you're traveling to space. And mwah, bye.
Nice. That was a good video. I think that was one of his best sit there and rant videos that I've seen ever. And I think he makes a really good point, and just, gives his feelings from DayZ and all that stuff. I don't necessarily agree that we can compare DayZ to Star Citizen in that aspect. I think DayZ is the closest comparable to Star Citizen, Tarkov as well, from a game development standpoint. Years, buggy, all that stuff. And but kind of unique and special all at the same time. But as far as the gameplay goes, we'll have to see. So I definitely think that some sort of a middle ground where safe space over here is not full loot, but there might still be risk. You might get PvP'd, but you don't lose anything. And unsafe space over here, think pyro, full loot, you're going to lose everything, but the risk is worth the reward. We're starting to see elements of that in Star Citizen right now. If you guys haven't seen stuff for 319, get subscribed, I guess, to my main channel. We're going to start going over all the really cool risk and reward things that they've added into the game. More of that's coming with mining in what looks to be a 320 patch at some point. So they're doing it at a very small scale right now, and I think kind of contradictory to what Grumpy thinks Star Citizen is going to be. I think they're really going with the route of, if you go here, it's risky. If you stay over here, maybe not. So we'll have to see. But thank you, Grumpy, as always. Very, very good video. Really appreciate it. Since he hasn't been around in a while, little link to the video, link to the channel for you guys. I know a lot of you guys know Grumpy, but just in case you're new here and don't, there it is. So thanks again, Grumpy. Have a great one, and I'll see you guys next time.